Motivation time. I'm your host with the most, is Marquis Saint, and every morning I get up and I am blessed to be alive. And so are you this morning. Check out the backpacks. This morning we're talking about pumping up our chest, but mostly pumping up our minds, dude. Like I got up this morning and I was just like, how do I help my mind? How do I help myself in situations that I think are crazy, and then all of a sudden I stay crazy. I stay inside of myself and I learn that I am valuable and that in my weakness I need to aid myself. And I hope everyone gets this message this morning. I hope everybody is blessed enough to, cognizant enough to get this message this morning. My shirt just fell. Yes, it's hot outside. Yes. 100 degrees out. Yes. $60 backpack. I hook up the homies for 40. You already know what time it is. Just say the homie hookup and you can get this backpack for 40 bucks. Anyway, I'm into the game and about to roll up the morning blunt. And I just thought to myself, here are some of the things that I do to help my own mind. First of all, Billionaire Hemp Wraps. Once again, shout out to these guys. They're the best hemp wraps on the planet, on the market. I love these hemp wraps. So when you're out there in life, thank you very much, Mr. Exhaust. You can hear the exhaust. I'm out here by Boulder Highway, so if anybody knows what's up with Boulder Highway, knows there's a lot of traffic, and that's why it's so loud. But really, why is it so loud in our brains, and why do we always use cheap thrills to fix it? And that's really the question of the day. Is all of us kind of live in this world where we make decisions on desire on a regular basis, on whether we like to work or play, and in our decisions, a lot of us can't hold in a certain section. You can't always be playing and you can't always be working. To sustain them both is impossible, and that's why we talk about the balance. That's what Saints Addiction's all about. It was like a honest balance of me being, trying to be every morning, the best human I can be, and that attempt at doing it, and then being valuable right after, and knowing that I am too weak and I need the strength of my mind to keep myself in this game called life. And a lot of people, they ain't trying to do that. They're not trying to do that at all. They're just trying to go from sensation to sensation. And when we seek only pleasure, we don't get any growth. We don't know what we're made out of. And eventually the pleasure ends, and then we're scared. We're scared that we weren't accomplishing our lives, that we weren't chasing after our goals, and we weren't motivated enough to get after what we wanted. We only went after what we felt. And I'm sure you're going to be like, well, I feel a certain type of way. And I used to say that merch, I feel, that's how we always like to say, I feel, instead of it is and I want it to be. We just stick with our feelings. We're like, well, let me see. Go up in my head. Do I want to work out? Let me see. No, I'm feeling lazy. I'm going to continue to stay on this couch and keep that going. That is a subtle decision. That in itself keeps us from doing what we really truly want to do. And it's so subtle because we're so emotional. All of us are, it's not just like, oh, Saint's the only emotional person out here. No, all of us can get emotional or feel emotional, and things can happen in our own world, but it's the way that we talk to our minds. We don't help our minds at all by throwing alcohol on top of it. We don't help our minds at all by smoking cigarettes. We literally just jump onto the sensation and the emotion and get right back into the pattern and can't wait to just rub it all over us. And that's why I had to have this conversation, to help your mind. Help your mind for once not be overstimulated with dopamine from these cell phones, these fake dopamines. I'd love to say real dopamine, but it's fake dopamine. You know what I mean? It's not sustaining us, and yet we keep flicking our hands. And that's one of the things that I've been doing, especially when I want to scroll or get in there. First of all, I use social media as a business. Like, I don't just like your stuff. I gotta tag one of my businesses. I gotta reference it, hashtag it, something. I don't want to just sit there and give false praise and false energy and false light to someone, and draw them into the system and give them fake dopamine as well. They're using us to give each other fake dopamine. I'm using this channel so I can reach people. If there was any other way I could do it, I would and should. because it's something that I don't want to keep getting people hooked on. They're using me and my words and other people, influencers. Not that I'm that influential, but I'm definitely an instigator. And they use people like me, attention whores, to get more attention so that we can draw in more attention. So that way we can draw you in and then you stay on this device. And I'm probably the only one out here saying get off the device. Find a way where you can get some quiet time, where you can sit. If you were already sitting, which you probably are, on your phone, then you are a perfect example of someone that perfect example of somebody that's ready to learn themselves, right? Perfect example of somebody that's ready to take control of themselves and not be swayed by the fakery. And there's so much fake energy out there. There's fake friendships, there's fake relationships, there's fake popularity, and we chase it because we just want everyone to think that as long as I got a blue check mark by my name, I'm legit. And what's really sucks is to be really legit, to really feel legit. Feel and actually be legit are two different things. Most of us just want to feel legit. It helps, you know, when you're fucking putting on the brand new shoes that I got and you got the brand new backpack and you're getting compliments. It feels like strength. It feels like confidence. And like they'd be saying in the rap videos that I watch, you know what I mean? You don't want any of that fake confidence, right? You don't want, come on, bitch, why'd you fall out? You don't want anybody on some fake energy, fake love, or fake anything. Or fake confidence, and that's what we do. We fake our energy to the outside world instead of keeping our energy real to ourselves. And that's something that helps our own brain. Instead of living in a world that's fake and unrealistic, we now can go into a world where you can really, really, really talk to yourself. You can really, really leave the metaverse and enter into your mind verse. How about that? And have verses with your mind. Have conversations with yourself and say, you know, when I'm done chasing my pleasures, which is what I've also found out, when I'm done being a pleasure seeker and demander and only chasing things that make my brain go soda popping, you know, I get to get in depth. I get to have real conversations with myself and go, why didn't you try that? You know, that's the real question. The why not questions start coming out and go, why haven't you got off your ass? Why haven't you go develop something? Why aren't you doing anything at all? And a lot of us, it's just like because we're scared. Because if we leave our routine, then we have to do something new and we don't know what to do. And that was something that also they said in that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, is that's it. You know, it's like sometimes you don't know what you're doing. And that's okay. A lot of people are like, well, tell me the secrets to life and then I'll go chase it. And the secret to life is your desire. You know, what are you desiring is what you're gonna chase. No one's gonna be around there measuring it. No one's gonna give a fuck what you chase. You're allowed to chase alcohol till you die. You're allowed to chase sex till you die. Any of the addictions that we have as human beings on this planet, which we readily identified because everybody runs to it. You know, anything that we can do where we want to self-medicate, right? We want to adjust our sails. We have that power, but we never sit still enough long enough to say, where am I adjusting my sails to? It's just what makes us feel comfortable. And it's like, get the boat being calm, and then there's getting the boat to move forward. And that's a hard decision because it makes us get inside of our minds and leave what we already know. We already have a pattern. And to leave that pattern means to learn something new. And to do anything means that we're going to learn something new. If we're just going to hold still and hold true, then that's all we're going to know is truth. You know, we're only going to know the things that, well, if I grab this coffee, it's going to make me feel a certain way. And that's all I'm after this morning. Let me get this coffee in me. And as long as I have coffee in me, everything is going to be fine. Instead of, why do I have such low energy? Did it start with insomnia the night before? Why do I react this way? Did it be something that I've created a pattern and a relationship with coffee to tell myself that this is the energy that I need to get up in the morning? I've dated quite a few MILFs lately, and it's kind of like the marketing to the MILFs. It's like, you're successful if you woke up in the morning, you're up early, and you're in the coffee line. And I'm thinking, how successful can you be when you're paying 25 cents worth of beans for $5? When you're paying $5 worth of 25 cents of beans, that ain't smart, but it is emotional. And that's what we do is we get in our emotions. God damn, this thing just keeps wanting to pop out, and we just want to stay there. We want to say, okay, well, it feels the way that I want it to feel instead of the way I want it to be. And that's all I'm talking about. There's have, do, be's, and what you want and what you need. And this is one of those things to be really mindful of your needs and not just wants and not just chasing things that are going to make us happy, but chasing experiences that develop us, that move us inside of our brains and go, okay, you know what? When I do get uncomfortable, I get in these zones where I can learn more about myself. When I do stay in the challenge, I push away and I get away from the habits. And that's something that all of us want to do, bro. We all kind of get into our own zone and we have a way of fighting for the same. We have a way of keeping it consistent. If you ever try taking a cigarette away from somebody, you'll see a grown ass person act like a baby, like throw a real big baby fit. And you're just like, yo, I'm just trying to get you to quit. And then, like, it's healthy for you. I want you to live a long, healthy life. Please don't smoke cigarettes. That kind of conversation ain't going to happen to somebody that's nicotine fiending. You're in the middle of their pleasure. You're in the middle of them being happy. And instead of them saying me being healthy, they're literally viewing it as you're stealing my happy, you're stealing my shine. And that's something that we all have to adjust to. It's like sometimes it's not always shine, it's nighttime. And those are the perfect times to readjust and heal ourselves and backtrack. And especially at nights, that's what a lot of us do with the insomnia is like go over the day. And it's like you wake up in the morning and you're manifesting all these thoughts and things that you want to develop instead of what's wrong, fire drill, I gotta slide down the pole, I gotta fight all these anxieties. An opportunity to actually talk to yourself and go, okay, hey self, what's up with you, man? You've been doing XYZ for the last week, month, year. This is your pattern, okay? And there's got to be something in you, because all humans can't hold the same to be true. Bless up, let's get this going. There's got to be some, shout out to Monkey Tail, there's got to be something to you where you're like on sale and smoke and review on the website. All of this stuff, smoke and review. All of this stuff, smoke and review. So anyway, so when you're in it, in your own mind, right? There's us firing off our emotions and going from stimulus to stimulus, and then there's the rest of us that are in our minds. I'm going to put this as the mind vision, where I'm focused on the way that I think, the way that I talk to myself, and helping my own brain out. And that's something that's been huge for me. For me, I was having a really tough time with the past, that I had made this huge mistake and I wanted to undo it. And I knew I couldn't undo it. I knew I couldn't reverse a day. I knew I couldn't relive a day or relive my actions. And it bugged me. It bugged me that my past wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, that I had a discrepancy in the matrix, a rift, if you will. And me standing in my head, I stay there and I go, I'm in my head and I'm just like, yo, that's what happens, right? That is not my future anymore. And as much as I keep telling myself I need a haircut, telling myself when I'm obsessing about the past, I had to relieve myself with my own mind and heal my own mind and say to myself, that is not my future anymore. The picture of how my life is supposed to be is not perfect. It's perfectly imperfect. It's raw. It's real. It's exactly the way that I imagined it or put energy into it. So whenever we get surprised with how our lives developed, we got to ask ourselves, what decisions did I make to get here? And that's a huge accountability, responsibility, and perspective that we don't necessarily do. And I've been getting it from this book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's like, what decisions did I make to get myself in certain situations? What is my responsibility to the situation that I'm in? And it could even be someone just dropped off a baby at my front door. I still have responsibility to the situation. The way I react is my responsibility. And I'm not very responsible for the way I've been responding to people. I've been working on it. I'm friends with the bestie, and we got into it, and I had to ask her. She's like, "Oh, we don't need to talk about it. I've already got over it." And I'm like, "Well, that's good for you. I'm glad you got over it. But the way I get over things is by talking with people and expressing myself honestly and completely, instead of just let's just get past it, let's ignore it. That's the perfect way of having it show up again. That's exactly what people do. They don't sweep, they put it under the rug, and they wonder why the rug is all swollen. I don't want a swollen rug. I want communication. I want answers. I want an understanding between someone. And the thing came down to, I wouldn't have treated you the same way you treated me. Simply put, as my friend, when your dad was dying, I didn't tell you, get over it, and after I lost my child, you told me to get over it. That was the same level of respect and attention that I gave you. And as a friend, I'm just telling you that. And she respected it. I mean, she didn't really respond to it, but she had to hear the words. And instead of saying, you little bitch, you were such a fucking bap, and accusations and shots fired, I was conveying messages. I was sending pigeons, carrier pigeons. I was sending understanding and saying, look, besides for my raw emotions and my pleasure emotion cycle, that everybody seems to be on, there's the addiction, pleasure, drama, attention, medication. We do that all the time. Emotions, like we run on emotions. Like we don't just run on coffee, we're running on emotions. And then there's people that run on consciousness, where they were like, look, dude, I've seen the power that I participate in my life. I see the power of my decisions. I see the power of my mind. And that if I keep feeding it this shit in the morning, where I go, oh man, it's going to be a shitty day, and this is going to be expensive, and I got to be here on time, and I start complaining at my life, I start complaining at my mind, this thing's going to only listen to what you tell it. You're the one sitting there with the radio knob and the TV switch going like, what do I want it to be like? Radio Tokyo, come in Tokyo. Radio Tokyo, come in Tokyo. And that's us on a steady diet of repeat. Let me get my emotions. Let me get my stimulus. Let me get some attention. Because it gives us this buzz, and that's something that I had to learn. Let me touch my heart. As a former addict, or still an addict, I guess, inherited from my father, got it now. I still chase stimulus. I didn't realize that about myself, but it's a great way of not focusing on what's wrong in our lives. As long as we got festivals and our friends are popping and things are popping, you know what I mean? Like we're just popping bottles. We don't have to focus on our debt. We don't have to focus on our credit reports. We don't have to focus on our broken relationships. We don't focus on any of that shit. That shit gets pushed. We push it underneath that rug again, metaphorically and physically, and just sweep it. Instead of cleaning up the dirt, we're digging up the dirt. We're keeping our foxhole, our grave deeper. We just digging deeper. Instead of digging steps out of it, we just keep going down, down, down. And the moment we push the shovel instead of down, this way is the first step that gets to come out. And you can only imagine what that would feel like to create steps and go up a level. And then it takes energy to push yourself up, because remember, you're forcing against gravity, you're forcing against your body weight, and you're forcing against your mindset. There's a lot of gravity in that. And to start thinking in a different pattern, go up, over, and creating steps out of these holes that we dig in our minds. And that's just something I'm just translating what I'm learning. It baffles me as a psych major and a person that studies psychology and studies my own psychology, and is always talking about mentality. I was just like, yeah, man, I was living in the past, bro. I was trying to control it, like I always try to control my life and always try to control my outcome and control the way that people view me and see me and the message. Like, man, fuck that. It's 108 degrees right now outside here in Vegas, going up to 112. It's been 3-digit fucking crazy weather. I got my fucking shirt off, okay? Now, most of me was like, yo, I want to sell shirts. Let me wear it. If I wear it, I'll sell it. Show off the backpack, I'll sell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to market, but do I know how to talk to Mark? Do I know how to talk to me to get the best out of me? You know, and that's what we do. We don't communicate very well. Give over take, baby. Give over take. We don't communicate very well. You see it? You see it? So I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's what it is. That's what it is, you know what I'm saying? So let me get this. Someone's asking about their banner in an hour, yes. There we go. Kind of running into this whole thing and just doing it one level at a time. He needed access to the file. You know how these things work in Google Drive. I thought I sent it right. I was just forwarding it, but it's all good. I'm realizing a mistake right now. I could have just downloaded instead of being lazy and forwarded it. Then now Rodney, and Ryan have to see it. He'll have to give access to everybody. I should have just downloaded. That's my fault. That's me being lazy. And me realizing my mistakes too. You know, I think that's something about our consciousness. We don't really, we got to stay, might call that when you're just totally effort, and yet we stay in this world where we're like, yes, everything's exactly what I need it to be, and I'm just all over the place, and no, we need to be in it to win it, and that's where I'm at right now, is to not dilute myself, help my brain with real healing and real consciousness and a real decision of we making a choice right now. We're going to make this choice and go, oh, you're starting to live in the past again. Oh, you're starting to go into your patterns again. Oh, you said you were going to do something. You were going to do something, anything to get something going. You were supposed to do that. Okay, bet. Why didn't you download that file and email it? Wasn't being mindful. Just a human, it's going to have to take care of itself. In my head, calculating the balances of my decisions and what's the outcome, and having the sort of godly complex in my brain that I'm so smart that I have to fix topics, and I can fix problems, and I can fix your problems, and I can fix math problems, I fix life's problems. When really, they're all challenges. And they're gonna come up, and some of them I'm gonna make, and some of them I'm gonna. And big fails happen too, but it's not the loss of life. And even after loss of life, life goes on. And to live in that reality that nothing is perfect, nothing is congruent. None of us live in that world. Nothing is ever gonna be the way we wish it to be. Sarcasm, and don't do it to your workers either, bro. No offense, but you were the one in Burning Man partying. It's hard to be the leader, fucking off, doing whatever the fuck you want to, and everybody else is sweating it for the mistakes or decisions you should make. That's a realization that most of us don't take. We'd much rather get the frustration out of us and chew out our girlfriend, chew out our wives or our employees, and you get a small buzz off of it. I know I do. You know what I mean? I knew there was a buzz too. There's an addiction to anger. There's a little, I'm powerful. And sure, you could be powerful and do that to certain people, but it's also just not the same, right? It's not the same. And that's something that I live in the world where we are going to have to level up. We are going to have to get more aware of the way that we are and the way that things are going to be. You know, there's something that comes from that. For reals, you know, there's something that comes from being in our centers and being in both good and bad, right? Not in a dichotomy of just all positivity and delusional positivity and everything's always got to Be happy. All we do is be happy around here. That would be a great Stepford Wives. That would be a great movie. I just got a flash, dude. But sent Visionaries because I get a flash. But I just thought that's the movie where you go into a city where everybody tries to be perfect and everything's fucking smiles. I guess the new movie Smiles, real creepy Smiles. Maybe it's just called Smile. But anyway, that kind of mentality. Think about it real quick, where everybody just fakes it. But what's behind the door? The Disneyland effect, right? Where Walt Disney never lets you take off. The Disney rule is that you never get to leave character, is that you always in this immersed environment, that everything's Wonderland and Futureland and all these lands. You were never allowed to, even if it was hot outside, you have to go in the back and take off your suit. You'll never catch Daffy Duck, Donald Duck, I don't know all the names, but I guess that's Warner Brothers, but any of the characters out of character. And that's what we do. We kind of put on our character and make sure that we all show up with this character and this person shows up. This fallacy, this lie shows up every day and lives the lie. And what they were saying in Russia is they stop lying. The one thing you can do is trust somebody. If they disagree with you, that's okay. They don't have to agree with you to appease you and your ego. We kind of stroke the delusional. And we're just like sitting there holding on to these lies and thinking that the more that we chew them and swallow them, the better that they'll make us feel. How long are we going to swallow the pill? And when do we start taking power back? When do we stop looking for an external thing and start looking for an internal thing? And put the phone down, mic drop, and open the palms up. It's such a baffling experience, but I really do appreciate a fresh breath of fresh air. Instead of leaning down at my phone all the motherfucking time. I'm in the battle of e-commerce, so I kind of make an excuse to play on it, but no, there will be no excuse for the hours that it steals from me. There's no living in the past. There's no reverse button on this thing. It's so real and raw, and I play with it so often. I think like all of us do, like children with our power. You know, we have so much time to play with. Let's keep playing. And I think that's what ends up happening when people grow up and start adulting, is they realize that we are all on borrowed time, that everyone has to get done what they can in the 24 hours that they can. And it's really a two-thirds of things that they can, because they take a third away from sleep. So life looks just so fast, and you shit, eat, and breathe in the middle of it, driving or whatever, your task, your off time, and 8 hours of work, you have no more time. That's it. The math is there. The energy is there. Everybody has to sleep and rest and sleep and rest and get water and shit and eat. And we do this on repeat. We're very repetitive as mammals. There's a system here, night and day. Saints addiction. This is why I said there's such a extreme dichotomy, you know? And we're all of those things. So if we're in a world that we keep it real with ourselves, that we know that we're all can be emotional, and we all can be judgmental, and we all can be curious, and we all can be aggressive, and we all can be competitive. Yeah, that's in it, every one of us. And values, flaws, whatever you want to call it, acknowledging it. You know, it doesn't have to be rated. It doesn't even have to be named. Just acknowledging that energy that we give external things. Running past my 30-minute mark, I want to get into my life, you know, but this thought was so profound for me, that a lot of people just do it good or bad. How does it make me feel? Good egg, bad egg. And we rate things, and we might drop good opportunities because we don't feel like it was a good egg. And just like Willy Wonka's egg, that's what I meant by dropping opportunities. It just opens up that hatch. Are you a good egg? That's a bad egg. And then you just kind of, is it good or is it bad? How about it's happening? How about it's an experience? You know, I mean, it takes that from that ancient wonders of, okay, they came to get your son, ancient Chinese or whatever, Japanese, and they said, oh, that's bad luck to come in and recruit him, but he fell off the horse and broke his leg, so that was good luck. But when he first fell off the horse, wasn't such good luck. Yeah, we don't see accidents as blessings, right? We always got to rate it. Is it a blessing or is it an accident? I'm saying blessing doesn't equal blessing minus accident. None of that. It's not even an equation. It's just experience. You are experiencing your life. It's going by 1 hour at a time. Hopefully, another hour. And that was profound. That the guy literally pointed at the hourglass. You know, you got the hourglass and it's funneling, and he's like, "You are here right now. You're in this zone where this is your future time, and it's rolling out, and this stuff below is already gone." So that's where I'm at. I'm in this world where I've already got about half my life. I'm 42 years old. If I make it to 84, everybody would say I lived a full life. I hope to. You know, I don't know. I love this thing called life, and as fucked up as it is, and depressed it gets, and boring it gets, and lonely it gets, and all the other emotions that we all feel, um, I still love it. Man, I love this shit. I kind of love that you can get into the boat and kind of go anywhere that you want to go, or at least I can, you know? And I fought hard to do that, that I could fight hard to make my ideas come true and into reality, that I can focus on a design and wear it, that I can purchase things that people appreciate, you know, say sunglasses, make my own uh, ideas come true. And I want that for other people too. You know, I don't want them just to be on a hamster wheel, you know. For the first time, they can get empowerment and say that, you know, if what you say is true, right? What you say is true, then I'm in control right now and I can choose what to do. So I'm going to choose to get off the show because I went past my 30 minutes. I hope this message hits home. If you got anything out of it, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Comment in the link below. You already know. But engage somebody. Engage somebody with this. That's what everybody wants is engagement. I don't want just comments, man. I'm trying to go beyond the algorithm. I want you to talk to another fellow human being and have these conversations interpersonally, not only with yourself, but others. Let's see what comes of it. I'm actually going to be recording something. You know, I've been sharing the information with my friends too, and he was there with his ex. And I'm like, have you ever interviewed one of your exes? Like the feelings are gone. You're not dating anymore. Cut it out. We're not kids anymore. You're an adult. Just like going back to an old job and saying, why did I get fired? One of my questions I ask everyone, like if I'm going to move into a place or I'm going to date someone, what happened to the other guy? What happened to the tenant before me, the guy that you believed in and used to hold hands and take selfies with? How did he fuck up? What were his mistakes? You know, so I could avoid it, you know, or tell you it's not me, or maybe that is my challenge and I can't be the next tenant or leasee. Just anyway, you get my point is that we have an opportunity to talk to ourselves once we put these phones down. Yes, I'm on this phone, and yes, I'm getting off of it. I was just putting it out there in the atmosphere with the morning motivation and with my smoke time when I can, and talk to people while I sweat out on a balcony that's been on Good Morning America smoking weed. So, you know, when I do these shows, I ask people, implore you to not only interview your exes and interview your old jobs, and just ask, you know, after the dust settles, not the next day, dude. There's too much raw emotion on it. But like when it's long gone, critique yourself, critique your life, get a second guess on it. Stop being so quick draw McGraw, you know, shooting from the hip without even focusing. Take a second to breathe. Breathing's been crucial. And the reason it's crucial is you get to do something physiological to your brain. It goes from psychological to physiological into your actual atmosphere. Your body's moving because your mind told your body to move. Get into that atmosphere. Please try that for once. And that is almost like prayer or meditation or any of that. It's just getting that mind back. In any moment we can do it. And I wish in other moments I had. So that's your morning motivation. If you got anything out, this all my heart from the start. Your boy Marky saying Saints Addiction. I'll see you on the other side. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Phoenix. Check it out.